All right, so that takes us to the 7th, and this was proposed by Norm Silver. And Norm, you have 5 minutes to present. All right, so that takes us to the 7th, and this was proposed by Norm Silver. And Norm, you have 5 minutes to present.
Thank you. I don't think I'll take the full 5 minutes. This is a... You move it up? There you go. Basically, I can tell you about what this proposed addition to the bylaws does and what it does not do. The easiest thing is to tell you what it doesn't do. It doesn't change any of our RSAs. It doesn't change anything about qualification for voting. It doesn't change anything about qualification as a candidate. But what it does say is, in accordance with the Supreme Court's decision that says that political parties are private organizations and have the right to set their own rules. And we have the right, under that Supreme Court decision and under RSAs, to set our own rules as to how we run our primaries. And it seems to me that when we're selecting Republican candidates in a Republican primary, they should be selected by registered Republicans. One of the things that I remember when I signed up to run for state rep back in 2016 is I had to sign a declaration of candidacy that said I'm a member of the Republican Party, and I was proud to do that. Now we have 2 categories of people who can come in on election day who are not registered as Republicans when they walk in the door. But they can vote in our Republican primary. And those 2 categories are the people who are registered as undeclared and who come in and decide they want to vote Republican that day. I call them momentary Republicans. They get a Republican ballot, and when they walk out, they change back to undeclared if they wish. And then we've got the people that are same-day registrants who come in, whether they come in from Massachusetts in the vans we've heard about, or whether they're political workers for the Democrats who come in and they want to register that they live in a state park that's closed, as we've heard from different towns, and they come in because they want to affect who is going to run in the general election under our Republican banner. That is something that should be determined by Republicans. And what this does, and it says that only people who registered as Republicans the day before the election, the primary, can vote in the primary. Doesn't affect who can vote in the general. Anybody can vote in the general. If you want to be a Republican, you ought to register as a Republican. If you want to decide who's going to be a Republican candidate, you ought to register as a Republican so you can vote in the primary. This addition to the bylaws may not be perfect. If it's adopted, it may need to be tweaked in an election cycle or 2 based on some experience we have with it. Most states, other than New Hampshire, have closed primaries. They don't let non-party members vote in their party primaries. That's what this tries to do. This, as I said, this may not be perfect. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. This is a good addition to the bylaws. It will increase the integrity of our brand as Republicans, and to make the candidates we select in our primaries real Republicans. So I ask you to vote for it. Thank you. I know. I've got the way. So,
I'm speaking in support.
you're okay. Thank you.
Signed up to speak. These are
Yep, thank you. Jim McConnell.
Thanks very much. I believe this is a very important amendment. I'm strongly in support of it. I've been active in a number of states politically over the course of my life, which politically extends a long way. I think it's extremely important if we're concerned about the first in the nation primary that we recognize that it is highly likely that political activists around the country don't much care for the idea that our Republican Party nomination is determined not exclusively by Republicans. I was Pat Buchanan's Florida campaign manager who ran for president in 2000. I got the legislature there to change the name of the Florida Turnpike to the Ronald Reagan Turnpike. You name it, I could go on and on, but the long and the short of it is, if I were a committeeman from any other state, I would not be pleased with our current procedure. This brings us into line with everyone else. And I can assure you that if somebody hasn't brought that up thus far, at some point they will. We should restrict our Republican voters. We should restrict our Republican primary elections to Republican voters. And if we don't, we'll light the fire. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bill?
Thank you, Bill Smith Atkinson. I rise in strong support of this because it goes to the core of the integrity of our election system and our primaries. We let non-Republicans vote in the Republican primary. That's gaming the system, and it's been going on too long because of federal laws that don't really apply in this situation to our primary. And it's about time we stood up for what is right and enforced right from wrong, so that Republican nominees are selected by registered Republicans and not by interlopers who game the system because we leave the rules so sloppy and loose. It's about time we fix this, and I urge you to please vote for this. Thank you.
That is all that is signed up.
Thank you. Under the rules, we're also supposed to announce both the bylaws committee and the executive committee voted unanimously not to recommend this, and so that you might wonder why. The reason is we don't think this is the right place to do it. It would require statutory change. It might be appropriate for the platform, but the bylaws are for the operation of the Republican Party. And so that's why we recommended against it. It isn't because we disagree necessarily with what Norm was just saying. Yeah.
State law.
Real quick, the reasoning behind this was because the state funds the primary, they don't get to call the rules, and therefore the legislature has to change it. I strongly believe that this is the right thing to do, but it has to be done by the legislature. And the legislature, of course, has always said that, in fact, you're going to hurt First Nation primary. Presidential primaries in February, our state election is in September. We could have the legislature change the rules for our primary in September and not affect the presidential primary in February. But that has to be done by the legislature unless we as a Republican Party are willing to undertake the cost of the primary, which we're not willing to do. So that was our thinking.
Okay, with that explanation, Norm, I think it's fair to allow you a brief rebuttal.
When I was on the election law committee in 2017, I proposed an RSA that would in fact do this. And I was told explicitly there, with David Scanlon from the Secretary of State's office sitting there in the audience, oh, you don't need to do this with an RSA, with a legislative change. It can be done by party rule adoption. And that's what this seeks to do.
That would not resolve who pays for it. So, but thank you. All right, let's try a voice vote, and then we'll go to a division vote if necessary. So first, I'm going to ask everyone who supports this amendment to say aye. Aye. Those who are opposed? No. It's close enough. We need a division.
So again, you're going to go for the ayes first. Who want to see this happen, please raise your red ballots at this time. Want to see it happen? Raise your ballot.
Again, if you're in favor of this amendment, you will be holding up your credentials right now. It's 2/3.
His is right there. Yeah, his is right there.
All right, thank you. All who are opposed to this amendment, please raise your credentials.
I've been going to exchange jobs with everybody at any time. You want to come on down, he's like, here's the list. Right, I did take my job every time you want. Yeah, I'll give it 10 years I've been doing it. Good job.
Ken, you good? 95 for, 96 against. The amendment fails. It requires 2/3.
GOP TV.